It was just like this when my parents were killed right before my eyes. By shinobi of the hidden leaf. Because of the existence of love, sacrifice is born, as well as hate. And one comprehends. One knows pain.
These were the words of Nagato, known to the world as Pain, a man who believed that only through shared suffering could humanity understand each other and achieve peace. But Madara Uchiha disagreed.
Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world. The longer you live, the more you will realize that the only things that truly exist in this reality are merely pain, suffering, and futility. Listen, everywhere you look in this world, wherever there is light, there will always be shadows to be found as well. As long as there is a concept of victors, the vanquished will also exist. The selfish intent of wanting to preserve peace initiates wars, and hatred is born in order to protect love.
Both men sought peace, but their visions couldn't have been more different. In this video, we explore their philosophies and ask the question, who was truly right, Pain or Madara? Nagato was just a child when war took everything from him. His parents were killed right in front of him by Leaf Shinobi during the Second Great Ninja War. He starved, he hid, he watched as his country became a perpetual battlefield for the larger nations, a place where the poor and the innocent were nothing but collateral damage. And then he lost Yahiko, his best friend, his leader, his brother in arms. Yahiko's death at the hands of Hanzo and the scheming of Konoha's Danzo pushed Nagato over the edge. He came to believe that humanity was incapable of peace on its own. People were selfish. Nations were greedy. Even when someone like Yahiko rose to unite people with hope and ideals, those ideals were crushed under the weight of fear and power. That's when Nagato decided to change the world in the only way he thought possible, by making everyone feel the same pain he had left. He called it the cycle of hatred, the endless chain of revenge that humanity justifies as justice. The Leaf kills his parents, he kills Leaf Shinobi, the Leaf retaliates. And it never ends. Every nation, every family, every shinobi caught in an endless loop of violence. Pain believed that the only way to truly break the cycle was through fear. If the world was united in shared suffering, if every nation knew the pain of unimaginable loss, they would hesitate to wage war. They would finally understand each other, not through kindness, but through pain. That's why he created the 6 paths of pain, to enforce his vision of godlike retribution. He destroyed Konoha not just as revenge for what they'd done to him and his people, but to make them an example, to show the world what it meant to feel hopeless and broken. To Pain, this was the only path to peace, not through hope, but through trauma, because hope could be crushed, but scars lasted forever. As he told Naruto, those who do not know true pain can never understand true peace. It's a philosophy rooted in reality. Humanity has always feared what it cannot control, and pain weaponized that fear to stop the world from destroying itself. Madara Uchiha's philosophy came from a different kind of despair, one not of being crushed as a victim, but of watching the futility of human nature from the top. Unlike Nagato, Madara wasn't just a casualty of war. He was a warrior, a leader, and one of the founders of the Hidden Leaf village. Together with Hashirama Senju, he dreamed of a world where children no longer had to die on the battlefield. But even as the village took shape, he realized that peace was fragile, temporary, and ultimately doomed. The clan still schemed, old grudges resurfaced, and no matter what Hashirama did, people's hearts remained the same. Madara believed that humanity was fundamentally flawed, that greed, hatred, and violence were part of its very nature. You could stop one war, maybe even 10, but the cycle would always restart. So he chose a different path. Where Pain sought peace through fear, Madara sought peace through control by replacing reality itself. He called it the Eye of the Moon plan. Using the power of the 10 tails and the Infinite Tsukuyomi, he would project a powerful genjutsu onto the entire world, trapping everyone in an endless dream. In the dream, every person would live their ideal life. No pain, no suffering, no loss. No one would ever need to hurt or hate anyone again, because everyone would get exactly what they wanted. On the surface, it was perfect. After all, if no one realized it was a dream, wouldn't it feel real enough? But his vision came at a cost. Freedom. The Infinite Tsukuyomi would strip humanity of its free will, trapping everyone in a false reality while their bodies remained lifeless husks. To Madara, this wasn't cruelty, it was mercy. Why force people to endure the harshness of reality when you could give them a perfect illusion instead? Madara rejected the world as it was and sought to create a new one that humanity itself was incapable of building. Where Pain believed that people could learn through scars, Madara believed people could never learn at all. But was stripping humanity of reality itself truly peace? Or was it just another kind of cruelty? At first glance, Madara and Pain may seem like two sides of the same coin, both victims of war, both disillusioned by humanity, both determined to bring peace at any cost. But their core philosophies reveal just how different they truly were. Pain accepted the reality of the world, even in its ugliness, but believed peace was possible, but only if humanity forced to feel the pain they inflicted on others. His plan didn't erase free will, nor did it try to change human nature entirely. Instead, Pain weaponized fear as a deterrent, creating a fragile but real peace. People would still live their lives, make their choices, and remember the scars of their actions. Madara, on the other hand, rejected reality outright. Where Pain sought to fix humanity, Madara chose to abandon it. He believed that human nature was inherently flawed and beyond repair, and that the only way to achieve peace was to rewrite reality itself. His Infinite Tsukuyomi was not a deterrent, it was a prison. There would be no more wars, but only because there would be no more true freedom. Pain's approach was about learning through suffering. His ideologies still allowed humanity the chance to grow, even through harsh means. He believed that through shared pain, people could finally understand each other and maybe choose peace. Madara's approach was about surrendering to fantasy. He didn't trust humanity to ever change, so he took the choice away entirely. In this world, no one would suffer, but no one would live in reality either. Pain acted as a god because he believed people needed someone to teach them a lesson. Madara became a god because he believed people were unworthy of deciding their own fate. Even their methods reflected these differences. Pain struck directly at Konoha, obliterating it as an example of his power, but leaving the survivors to learn and rebuild. Madara's plan left nothing, no survivors, no rebuilding. Only a dreamscape where no one could ever awaken. Both men sought peace, but where Pain saw humanity as redeemable, Madara saw them as hopeless. In the end, their philosophies ask two very different questions, which is, do people deserve the chance to change, even if it hurts? Or is it kinder to take that choice away and save them from themselves? So, who was more justified in their philosophy? On the surface, both had strong arguments rooted in undeniable truths about the shinobi world. Pain experienced the endless cycle of hatred firsthand. He saw how each act of violence bred more violence, and how even the most idealistic dreams could be crushed under the weight of revenge. His answer was brutal but understandable. Force humanity to feel the pain they cause, and they will think twice before starting another war. His methods allowed people to retain their freedom and their reality, even if it meant living in fear of the next catastrophe. In many ways, Pain's philosophy acknowledged humanity's flaws, but also its potential to change. He didn't try to rewrite the world, he simply wanted to shock it into self-awareness. As cruel as it was, his plan left room for growth and redemption. Madara, on the other hand, had lost all faith in humanity. To him, people would always hurt each other, no matter how much they suffered or learned. His solution was to remove their ability to hurt one another by trapping them in an illusion where everyone could live their perfect life. No war, no hatred, no reality. There's a certain tragic kindness to Madara's idea, a desire to spare humanity from pain forever. But this peace came at the cost of freedom, individuality, and reality itself. In this dream world, no one would truly live. They would simply exist in a comforting lie. Pain's vision was harsh but honest. Madara's vision was gentle but hollow. If you believe humanity can change, even slowly, even painfully, then Pain's approach feels more justifiable. If you believe people will never change, no matter how much they suffer, then Madara's Infinite Tsukuyomi starts to make sense. But here's the truth, neither plan truly solved the problem. Pain's cycle of fear could only delay conflict, not erase it, and Madara's dream would strip humanity of everything that makes life meaningful. Perhaps that's why Naruto rejected both. He didn't accept Pain's fear or Madara's illusion. Instead, he chose to believe in hope, that even in a broken world, people could learn to love and understand each other, not through fear or control, but through bonds. So who was more justified? Pain, who forced humanity to confront its flaws, or Madara, who sought to free humanity from its own nature entirely?